GBP, JPY trade could have gone worse if it tried. The method behind the madness when it was there, I remember we discussed it. I think we decided to ignore and shoot back up there. Who would have thought, eh? Hence another time. Please get your position sizing right, because the market can do that. It's the whole point. Yeah, shot up 100 pips, eh? From our entry, something like that. Yeah, 100 pips, yeah, 100 pips. Looking back, would you have bought it there in hindsight? In the sell zone, wide resistance. No, not particularly strong as mentioned. Japanese change of government, I get that. Still, most that's been discounted since yesterday. Would you have gone, in retrospect, would you have said, looking back, I should have bought, would you have bought there? No. You see where I'm coming from? Ah, 4 o'clock. Now, let's really get anomaly, right? As we know, if the dollar goes up, right, strong dollar, and the yields on the 10-year note still pretty strong. Just checking it as I'm speaking now. That is actually going to be negative for the stock market, not the forex. I'm good at forex. I'm talking about stock market here. So let's have a look in the short term. Let's come off a bit. What's it doing there? 236. Am I cracking up here? No, it did go up. It's come off a bit recently, but it went up there, coming down. Probably get better on that. But you know what I mean? It starts to going up the last few hours. Why would that happen? That's what I say. Sometimes you've got to just shrug your shoulders and say, I don't know. Because, yeah, dollar goes up, yields, well, it's a bit sideways, but slightly up. What would suddenly give that a jump 100 pips? You get the point. So, yeah, that's why you're going to be careful. Gold did come off more or less expected in March. That's why I mentioned I'm a bit worried about it. If this holds has a bit of bounce, be careful. See if you can get out ahead, cover your costs or whatever. I want to be clean out of this if possible without any loss before tomorrow's CPI. I'm a little bit worried about it because I think, like myself, like a lot of analysts, expecting we could be completely wrong. Don't forget, guys, we're expecting maybe a CPI to be slightly inflationary, falling on the back of the non-farm payrolls last week. But yeah, just shows, eh? So let's go back to that. A couple of guys joined. This was a disaster. But I say, going back, look in retrospect, going back in time, would you have bought there? If you might have done, but why would you have bought there? Sell zone at resistance. The pound's pretty weak. The Japanese is a bit middle strength. What would possess you to buy there? If you look back, can you honestly say you would have recommended a buy if you can go back in time to this level here? So, no, that's definitely a buy. That one. Oh, I can tell you right, that's a buy. You said that. So I don't think the trade was based on stupid, erroneous information. These things happen. There's one guy, I'm not sure it was, maybe it was a video, so what have I done wrong? They haven't done anything wrong. Things are wrong with me, not you. Done anything wrong. No, it's just that's the way it's not behaves. But a lot of times you're going to say, "What? Scratch your head." I didn't know. Well, there you are. Thank you, Mark. Nice to have a bit of support on that. So you can only work the information you give. And you know, I'm saying, I would not have bought there. I can't see any reason why I've done it. And yeah. Well, there you are then. There you are. Thanks for that. There's a classic example where don't get cued. Whoever good the trade is by going in too big, stick with the volumes. Say to yourself, was a fabulous trade or not. Never mind if I'm going big, I can make 10 grand. No, no. Can you handle losing 2 or 3, 4 grand to do that? If you can't, don't do it. They used to say in the criminal organization, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. If you don't want to spend the week in the holding cell just to get to Cape Town a little bit quicker, don't drive. Get a bit Cape Town a little bit later, rather than spend the weekend in the holding cell. By going too fast is what I'm saying. I've got a feeling that, but I don't want to jump the gun on that. I absolutely agree, Mark. But as we mentioned this morning, you know, when I spoke to you, we've got a little bit careful of that because people jump in and think it's that's going to happen, and they'll do it without any form of research or anything like that. But other than that, I tend to agree. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just getting a couple of things now. Before I do, just remember, if you get a trader, please tell me. But you know, we everyone after calling. I agree with them. I'm not going to blame. No, we all agreed. I certainly agreed. I'm not going to duck any responsibility. I agreed with it. I still think if I went back in time for that, I think I'd make the right, but exactly the same decision. That's what happened. Anyway, so there it is. I said, it might be get a little bit quiet getting the CPI. I've sent some stuff out as a reminder. But anybody, if you want to do it, but please, if you want to join my Zoom class on the CPI tomorrow, 3 o'clock, it's not 4 o'clock, it's 3 o'clock opening. Just be prepared. You've got to have understand it and have a funded account. It's not times a couple $100 and don't understand the mechanics of it. It could come back and won't, you know, you got to understand it. I don't know how to put it, but you got to understand it. Okay, but those who do, maybe make a plan. I think it'll be. I think the banners need to be sent out. I've sent them to my group. I don't know if the office sent out to all the groups or whatever. But normally we tend to send it out to guys who got 2.5 grand or above. Because guys less than that, not just the lack of funds, obviously the lack of actual understanding, tend to jump in where they don't really know where, why, or what. And if it comes back and bites, it's not nice. You don't want a guy to, it might be a lot of money to him and suddenly he lost and he doesn't know why. So, yeah. But anybody here can join on the trading. If you take something on the trading already, you're like not a VIP plus. You've only got one round, I suppose. But the point is that just bear in mind, don't try and get cute if you don't understand it. Anna Marie, I mentioned this morning the euro dollar. If I see something, it might be the dollar yen, it might be the dollar pound, something else crops up, but I'll look into it and think maybe use another one. But I think we'll ignore anyone does a NASDAQ and do it. It's up to them. They've been trading for a couple of years. They know the score. Don't need me coming in here to get trade ideas. Like quite frankly, I do as well. Get trade ideas, but they don't need me what to tell them calculators. They know the score. But otherwise, I think the likely it's going to be the euro dollar. Unless something crops up, I think there's a better chance. Maybe gold or something. I'll have a look at it. But otherwise, I think it'll be the euro dollar. Only favor to me is gold is this money can do it because remember the contract value is 10 like it is on the NAS and the Dow Jones, so they can go in with smaller amounts and try and do it on that as long as they understand. That's the major frustration we all have here is nothing wrong with any of it as long as you understand the mechanics of it. If you don't understand the mechanics of it, it doesn't work. You've got to, you know what I'm saying? Not a case of it's an automatic car or a gear, you know, where you have to change gears gear shift or whatever you call it. But if you don't understand what gear shift automatic, what it means, rather not get in the car and drive it, yeah? Just got to get the basics. A little bit of a sorry story today. I did very well actually. Was in a few $100, that's all. Didn't understand, went in 4 micros on the NAS and obviously got margin calls and didn't know where her money went. And I said, you know, unfortunately lost you. Shouldn't be going in 1, never mind 4 micros. And of course, that was gobbledygook to her. So I said, if you want to continue, you need a fund and then join the trading room and again understand what the basics are about. I want to sell this, to be honest with you. I definitely want to sell it. There's no doubt about it. But I'm not sure I'm getting quite the right price yet. Let's look at the 4 hour. You see the mince? 4 hours looking pretty good. Hey, 4 hours looking pretty damn good. Let's not get too cute after this morning. 1 hour's looking good. I don't bother them. 15 minutes would have wasted time with the weekly. Pretty much the same. A few sellers came in, depending there. How far is that? Certainly about 40 odd pips, slightly less. I tend to agree with you. You're a bit nervous after this morning and your emotions are not right, don't do it. You might miss out if it goes right, but it's all a question of having your head right. If your head's not right, don't bother. But I'm afraid that I've been looking at this quite a lot, actually, and thanks for reminding me, Cleo. There's another person who's been doing it that long, comes up with some good stuff. Yeah, I have to say I like it. And what's really given me another tick to go for it is the 4 hour. It's in the sell zone and the 4. Remember, these are applied to all of them, obviously in different positions, because this is the, what's this, the blue one, yeah, the 4 times 50. On this, it's the daily times 50. It's 50 multiplied whatever candlestick you're on. Obviously, that's the 50 hour. Do you understand my point? And it's there, it's looking like it's holding, it's held there, actually the 200 hour there. The 4 hour and sell zone and seem to be holding. I prefer the CHF, you know my opinion of the pound. I think I've said it quite clearly, not a lot. So again, that to me, never mind what happens later on, if it jumps up, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. On this basis of here, we've got, look at with Delhi, yeah, look at some bit of support here. Let's just crunch it a bit. Good jargon that, crunch it, look at this, look at this, look at this here. That to me adds up to a trade. That's to me a short trade. And on top of it, it's popped up, the sellers are coming in. And who do you gonna back, the pound or the Swiss franc? Even if you didn't look at the chart, would you buy the pound or would you sell the pound against the Swiss franc? You see where I'm coming from? I think that's pretty good, Vio, as we speak, not pending, not next week, next year. I'll think about how I'll get back to, you know what I mean? I think this is an area where it's not too bad. I agree. What do you think, guys? I happen to like it. Now, let's see what we can get for some downside here. 70 pips, not happy with that.
Roger, permission to speak. I see that 9:30, the Swiss declare a CPI of 0.06 versus 0 expected. It did have some influence on the Swiss, but if it's enough, not too sure.
What's the time was this? 3:30?
No, it was 9:30 this morning.
Oh, right back here. 9:30 this morning. What's that time now? Where are we? 9:30 this morning. Where is that? 30 today, yeah. 9:30. It's 2:30. Get the times right. Just doing that. 9. Let's get backwards. 6, 5, 4 o'clock, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9. Yeah, I had a bit of a jump there. I think, you know, I think it's a bad idea if you can filter it, maybe get some of these 2-star jobs. You can have a bit of a bet, you're right. It's a 15-minute, you dick. Sorry, no wonder I'm having problems. 4, 3, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9. Had a bit of a jump down, jump back up, jump back down, jump back up. I think it's been shrugged off, but thanks for pointing it out.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to overcome that and stick with what I'm about to say here. I'm going over the weekly for a TP. It's not going to cut it here, so you've got to aim down here, which I haven't a problem with, and the stop up here. So if we come down to here, that's all right, plenty. Maybe here. So let's have a look. Position size calculator. Uh, 85, 1.0985. All right, now. Let's have a look. Let's see. We do that too far. Ooh, foot. It's about there, but I'd like to have it in theory about that 10-day, but I can't to get a decent risk reward. I don't want to take the TP any lower unless you guys want to. If you want to take the TP a bit lower, just minimize this, you can. No, I'm pushing your luck. I don't want to get the TP wider than that. Ideally, the stop would like to have about here, but you're not going to risk reward. Are you okay with that for a second? That's a weekly. Beg your pardon. Yeah, that can do there. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, look at the weekly. For a daily aspect, yeah, that's fine. It wasn't there till midnight. That is on the 2nd. What are we now? Oh, 10 days. Daily, yeah. Something's wrong there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 8 days ago. So we should, in theory, be okay there. Hopefully, but it's in the sell zone on that one as well. So, are you happy with that, guys? What do you think? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. So, what do you think? I think some emotional nerve shot this morning, one, and funny market, etc. But yeah, to me, I don't know. Pound to me is the weaker one. Swiss been overcome what you mentioned this morning. And yes, on the 4 hour, it's looking good. The day looks good. The weekly, it looks good. The 1 hour, it looks good. Looks good on both there. The 4 hour, same story. Look, it's holding. Do 50 minutes. Turns you on. Seem to be okay-ish there. Not much tells them 50, too short, really. I think it's too bad. If you're a bit nervous, you like it, maybe go on slightly smaller than you normally would. But if you're confident, take it. So I do quite like it. Well, Longy, like all of us, go through periods like they hate gas, or you hate the yen, he hates the pound. We all go through that period like that. And you miss out on a few good trades that do you a favor. Huh? What do you think? Anime's going to be a miss. Who would like to take this? If not, just tell me. If you aren't, tell me. Who would like to take it? I still think it will, but we shall see. Who would like to take this? Wait a few more moments while you make your mind up. If you're not sure, don't do it. Simple as that. Got to feel comfortable in your head. The head's where it's all at. We like to admit it or not. Got to feel comfortable in your head. I think it's 10. They're on GMT, remember? I think it's 10. Our time, obviously. Okay, no one else to do it. Well, let's move on. What I'm going to do, no, I'm just going to write down, see what happens, CHF. It's around about our time 2-7, probably about 5. Not quite sure, actually. I think it's 5 o'clock our time. What's your on about? Because it's a pound getting on. Around there, see how it goes on. If none of us do it, probably shoot down to tip part the next 20 minutes. Sorry to get cynical. Okay, moving along. Don't wait, you don't wait. That's absolutely fine. Okay, yeah, I think the FTSE run, said Jeff James or something. Yeah, I like that as well. But can we get a decent interest? Problem. Yeah, We looked at maybe Kate come back and buy. Did it come back and buy? No, it didn't. So we looked this morning to come back and buy, and obviously the ship kept on sailing, didn't come back and pick us up, unfortunately. Bit snotty of them, eh? Maybe we're not good enough for the line. Cunard line. Do you want to sell the retracement, or do you want to buy the retracement? Sell it. Sell the rally. You want to sell the Swiss and buy the yen. You got to think of the yen. Somebody was you giving you jip before the night, change your tune completely, you floor crosser, Mark. Now you like the yen. Okay. Wanted divorce last week. Yeah, bloody hell, men, hey, Anna Marie. Yeah, I'm not keen. It's right, resistance. I'm not keen. By the way, whilst we're waiting on that, I mentioned yesterday, not just Friday morning, about Baba, Microsoft, Netflix, and Tesla possible shorts. Bashing it, but is it going to roll through? I'm not sure it's come off. I'm not confident it's going to come off at all. I'd rather buy the retracement. We'll see anyway. But anyway, I said on Monday, I said Friday morning, we didn't have about 5 in the afternoon session. Baba, Microsoft, Netflix, Tesla for sales. Anybody take them in the end? Because obviously we didn't have a session on the afternoon, so I left that with you. Did anybody go along and take those trades? Because if you did, you should have been doing all right, was it? Baba. Remember that was on daily. Yeah, it was right up there. It was the close, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 108, and it's come off nicely if you took it. So I never know took it, but it came off nicely. Microsoft was the next one. Yeah, Microsoft. I mentioned, and that came off close. Yeah, that came close Friday, and it opened up. Yeah, opened up. That's 266. So I don't know if you took it, but it would have been doing okay. In Microsoft, good stuff. We'll have a look at that. And then Netflix was another one. That did okay. That's the other way around, open, close, open, close. So open there. So 366, that came off $15, $17. Don't know where you got in. But if you took Microsoft, you'd do that. That's Friday. Well, yeah, you ticket. Sorry. 360 on. Okay, so yeah. And it closed down there. So if anyone took that, they would have a big smile. 263 on Microsoft, but he's still in profit. That's fine. Did anyone do Tesla? Sorry, on Netflix. Sorry, did anyone do Netflix? And the other one was Tesla. So that came off nicely as well. It was above 200. I think it was around about 206 or something. So above 200, you'd have been, I reckon, depending when you got in, maybe $5, $6, $7, $8 a share up. Anyway, all four went the right way so far anyway. So you went to Microsoft. Anyone going? I've just mentioned them. Remember I mentioned them. Did anyone actually take them in the end or not bother? Because that would have put a smile on your face, those four, as I mentioned. Yeah, that's it could be. Nobody did. I'll move on. There's no point going on about it. Nobody took it. Yeah, somewhere around about there, and then come back and then rather buy it, I think. Anyone want to sell this? It might come back. I still think well, it's not really going against the trend. You can't sell it. It's in the neutral area, buy or sell. I'm in towards buy the pullback. But yeah, I don't want to sell that down. Okay. I presume, no, you don't want to sell it down, and you don't really, I wouldn't be too sure about buying it now, anyway. Yeah. Okay, so nobody actually did those 4 trades, but it's done okay. Anyway, that's there it is. Oh, you're not feeling too good? Oh, well, goodness, yeah, well, all right. I think go to your good husband and say, wrap up warm and get some decent TLC, and hope to have you back tomorrow. Hope you're ready for 3 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, good enough. You don't trust us at Jensen's. Well, you nearly got stopped out. In the end, it bloody well came, and I think it's pretty close to TP. So that's pretty good. Yeah, it's got the TP. Yep, hit the TP. So the ends hit the TP, guys. Don't know if you modified the TP like mentioned, but it's actually hit the TP. So that's the 3rd time on the trot. Once it did just show up, did fine. Next 2 times came back, came like 3-4 pips of like stop loss, gave us immense bloody psychological damage before it jumped up, and now it's hit the TP again. So after putting that mental trauma, it's hit the TP. Are you still in it, Mark? 132.70, yeah. It's got to get 132.70 on the sell, but I think it did that. Yes, it did. So you're out. So you're still in, that's fine. Obviously modify the TP. That's fine. That's good enough. 30 pips below. Where's your TP? Above 134 something, out the way. And it doesn't matter, you go to sleep easy, because if something goes wrong, you stop down a fancy serious profit, and it continues, it doesn't stop you out, you'll be even more serious profit. That's out the way. That is seriously out the way. I think even the CPI will have to be high inflation to hit that in the next 3:30 tomorrow, I tell you. But you never know. But that's just seriously out the way. Round about that level there, get you. Or this one here, which probably in this one here, something like that, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see. God, that'll be the trade for you, won't it? And that mean about 140, and from there to there is what yeah, no, about 340, 350 pip profit. Don't get that every day. Brilliant. Let's keep things crossed. Okay. Right. Well, no point going back to CFDs at the moment because they don't seem particularly keen. I'm not sure I'll be entering now anyway. CPI will affect the CFDs. I just want to mention all these are CFDs. We hear about futures actually on exchange. CFDs are over the counter, they're all CFDs. Normally, we refer to CFDs, we usually mean shares, okay? But so leave the shares alone. If you're in, fair enough. If you're not, I wouldn't enter now, despite what it opens up later on. If you're in the Microsoft, if you find it comes off a bit more and run along. But I wouldn't get too cute, rather take it easy. Okay. Now, next question, guys, is any of you guys going to come and join me tomorrow at 3 o'clock? Okay. Are you going to come and have a go at this straddle trade I mentioned? Anyone going to have a go at it? Fine is having a go. Yeah, get it right this time, fine. Not your fault. You're on the wrong way. It's not your fault. But get it right in the euro dollar. Anne-Marie just left, not feeling too well. Hope she'll be there. Well, if you can't, you can't, Mark. I mean, obviously, other things in your life. I get that. You're running a business. I get that. It's fair enough. You can't make it, Fiona. Okay, Pete's going to go. Good. Did you do? I think you did all right last time. Anyone who went the euro dollar should have done all right if they played the cards as I mentioned. We've got to be able to do it. It's no good saying I like to do it, but I've got a demo. I haven't got any money. then you won't be able to do it. Obviously, you know, if you want to buy something, you've got to, well, go to the money to buy it. So I obviously don't know what's in your account. I'm suggesting really, you need, I think the marked at 2.5 grand above, I'm not sure. But if you're here and you haven't got 2.5, maybe 1,500 or a couple of grand or something, I don't know, because too many guys are trying to trade with the pros and they're undercapitalized. And that's worrying me because it's just trying to race against faster cars when you know. And remember Aesop's fable about the tortoise and the hare. Might happen to fable, doesn't always happen in real life. You need the engine, you know what I mean? So yeah, but if obviously a funded account, and we do what's called a buy stop, sell stop. I'll go for it quickly. What you do is you'll join fantastic, Sadiki. Okay, what you do is probably will be this one, so you might as well use it. Where is it now? Oh yeah. Right. One thing I like about the euro dollar for it is very, very, very tight spreads. It's only about a pip and a half spread, so you don't have to worry about that. What we do, I'm thinking maybe putting it 50 instead of 20. Okay, it gives a bit of extra risk in case it's bang on as expected, and then there might be a bit of confusion. But I think I might try 15. So call that 106.90. Ignore the 5th decimal point, guys. Ignore it. Call that 106.90. So you put a buy stop, pending order buy stop above. So 106.90 and 15 would be 1.0705. So you just go to euro dollar. Where is it? Here we are. Euro dollar, and then you go to pending order. And there we are, pending order. And this time you're going to go to a buy stop, and you'll put, obviously not now, about 5 minutes. That's why you got to move on it. You got to know what you're supposed to be doing. This thing's moving all the time, so I want to put it just before the information is released. So you're going to put in the price. Don't write stop loss. Just put in the price 1.0705, and then you place the order. And you place the order. You're not in. You're above the market. You'll be doing this tomorrow, just before 3:30. So you got a buy stop up there. Then you do the same thing again. You go to euro dollar. You go pending order. And this time you put a buy sell in. So you get a buy sell. Where is it now? Sorry, sell. That'd be ideal, a buy sell. Then you go on. Yeah. Sorry, a sell stop. Okay. And then you put it 15 pips below. So that would say 90. That would be a slight difference because the spread, put 88. So what's 15 pips below that? 73. So you put in there 1.0673, and then you place the order. So now you got order above the market and below the market. Let's say that when the CPI is released and it's released above the expectations, that in theory, nothing's 100%. Well, that theory should be considered inflationary, and you'll see the dollar jump. Okay, so in this case, the dollar jump, so the euro will be weakened. So it'll come down. Let's get it the right way around. The euro is not the dollar. The euro is the base currency. It'll come down, take you in there somewhere, wherever it is, and then move down. You immediately close your buy order, delete it, close it, and then you follow it down until you either stopped out or you close it. If the opposite occurs, it's less inflationary. So they think, smaller interest rates will be slightly weaker for the dollar. So the euro will therefore go up. So this jumps in, moves up, you close this one, your opposite order immediately, and then you move up, and then you start maybe putting a quick, if you've got time, a quick stop in just in case an entry. Moving up, watch it, starts coming off, you might want to take it, comes a little bit and jumps again, carry on. Who knows, it might get up there, depending, quite frankly, what the differential is. If it's an enormous differential, you might get a fantastic run in that direction. If it's a small one, less of a run. If it's no differential, you might get some bobbing around. So if neither taken in, it's still bobbing around, rather delete both of them and then just leave it alone. If it does take one in, it doesn't matter if it's jumping around, get the other one rid of it. You do not want to be two in open trades for the costs, etc. One going north, one going south. Okay. Now you can say what size volumes. You've got to work that out for yourself. I mean, everyone's got different amounts. If you can afford 2 micros, do it. If you can afford 2 minis, you do it. Depends how much money you've got. By this stage of the game, you should know how to budget. That's the volume to budgeting, basically. you know, you've got 4 grand to last you after rent, after insurance, after everything, to last to the end of the, make it 5 grand at the end of the month. You don't go and buy something in Pick and Pay or wherever you go for 4 grand, then you're going to be snookered, you know what I mean? So you've got to work out your budget and see what volumes you can go for. And you ask anyone who took it on the non-farms on Friday, the ones that got in euro dollar did pretty good. All of them got the trade right, cancel, like I said, followed the instructions or followed the advice, should I say, they all made money. So see if we can do it again tomorrow. Are we clear on that, Leongo, and everybody else? Anybody not clear? Because we'll do it again, but I mean, to go over it, you've got to get those, you've got to get that mechanics. If anyone wants to say, come on, right, it's tomorrow, let's look at something else, I'll look at something with pleasure. Sometimes I haven't got anything else to look at. So, are you with me there, Leongo? Did I answer your question, or do you need more clarification? Interact. You don't know. Interact. You don't interact. You don't know. You do it. Well, your Dharma. NK, you got it. You've understood it. Good. You get the idea, NK. Could do it again, right? No problem. Information is coming out at 3:30. It says here 15:25. It's now 15:25 on Tuesday, and now you're going to place the order because the information on the consumer price index will be released in 5 minutes' time. With me, okay? So you're going to put an order above the market and below. I'll put a line up to make it a bit easier for you. There we are. Put it slightly above the market and another one slightly below the market. There we are, slightly below, something like that. Okay, just before the release of the data, something like that. I don't know, something like that. Right, this is a buy stop, a sell stop. When the information comes out, if it's a lot more, it'll be considered inflationary, which means dollar strength. The dollar is not the base currency, it's the euro the base currency. If the dollar strengthens, the euro will come off. So it's a big difference. The euro should come off, and bang, it comes down here. You cancel this order here, bang, cancel it, you know what I'm saying? And you let that run, and you can start moving and get out when you want. If, however, it's the other way around and shoots up, you cancel this one and let it run up. Do you understand now? One above, one below. We don't know it's going to jump up or down. So it jumps up, we grab that one, it's filled, that order's filled, and the other one you close. If it's vice versa, you close the one that's not filled and then follow it down. I don't know what the figures will be. It might be drastic, do very well a little bit. Grab whatever you can. When you get, I can't say that. Follow it. Use your intelligence. Use your common sense. Think on it. Move on it. Get your knowledge. Get your stuff worked out and working. This sort of flicking coin out for the best, and then say, "Oh well, Joe said I'll make $1 million in 5 minutes." Well, you know, I mean, caveat to them, beware. You understand what I'm saying? Have you entered by beware. Did you get it now? If you still don't get it, maybe I think it's called a straddle trade. Google it. I'll go over it. I don't know, but I'm going to go over so much. But this is not, you know, it's not to reinventing the wheel. It's just a buy stop, sell stop. It. When I talk about pending orders, I trust you all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you need to go to platform training. Because I've had guys call up and say it's moving up and not making any money because they're in a place pending order. They're not in the market. It's frightening, actually. Got it. Good stuff. It's actually, well, very profitable trade. You know, if it you know, comes out there. That's why we're trying to do more sessions on it. I don't think Dirk's here, but a couple of guys might be here. We did it on the euro dollar on Friday, and pretty pleased with themselves. Maybe a bit profit a bit too quick, a bit nervous, but never mind. Profit's a profit. They get more confident. They get the idea. But you got to be on it. You can't say, yeah, well, yeah, but we'll do that. No, you got to be on it. This is it can be fast moving. And as I said, I cannot work out your volumes for you because everyone's got different amounts. And George calls up. Mark says, "What do you think?" And I say, "I don't know, a mini." And then Joe with 3 or 4 around or 800 grand puts in a mini. I wonder why the hell he can't get the order in. Yeah, you haven't got the money for it, you know. So these basics need to be understood, and that's why you have a course. My job is to help you with experience go on from the basics you learn by getting the knowledge. Not to teach you, that's what Stock Market College does. We're separate companies. They teach you through classes or whatever they do, and then bring that together on the practical level is what I do here. And remember, brokers get busy. You got that, brokers get busy, and guys go up and say, help me place a trade. I mean, you anywhere in the world you ask that, and then it could be quite rude actually to put the phone down here. But we try to be polite, but because people just, a lot of people, remember overseas have all heard of it. Even the kids that know about them, they know about it, not the experts, they know a bit about it. So a lot of guys here, a lot of it's completely new. So, you know, got to explain that. But then you understand there's a bit to be learned. And it's not that difficult. It's not, you don't have to get a degree in the subject. Some basics have to be. The basic thing about all this, guys, is to understand you're learning how to fish rather than getting someone to fish for you. And especially we brought up with the sort of psychology of stuff it done for you, might be difficult to change the cultural concept. But the idea is basically to learn so you get the idea, so you're in control of your financial future, not somebody else. Okay, no problem. I understand. Thanks, Mark. You at least you tried. Hope we get sorted out, whatever it is. Okay, mate. Okay, are we all good? Some new guys join. I think I will say Juan, because that's the Spanish way in it. I think say Juan after over here. Juan, good to have you. Glad it's good to have you. Yeah, some new guys in here. Any questions? I can't get it right. Sorry, Bonisili. Did it sound good? Because if you know, if you can get a difference, you ask any guys, it can be quite profitable. There's no risk-free, by the way, but it can be very profitable, and it can be quick. Suddenly, within 15 minutes, you made yourself a nice trade for the day, because you'll see some big jumps. Look at that. Most of that was non-farmed. Look at that movement on Friday. Well, only 90 pips, so it was more than that. Okay, still had quite a decent run. Okay, you're good, guys. Good stuff. Okay. I've been witching away. I haven't seen the Nasdaq. Quick check. What's gold doing? It's hovering still. Where's the Nas? Sure, look at that on there. You see what I mean? There's a classic example. It's been open for 10 minutes and it's jumped 54 pips. On a micro, that's $5. That's about 100 Rand. Is that right? That's about 100 Rand. If you got 500 Rand, that's 20% of the entire capital within the first 10 minutes. You cannot trade that unless you got at least 4 or 5K. Especially on OB, it's far too volatile. Which will bring me now to the micro. If anyone wants to learn a bit about that, we'll do that. Okay. Just quickly check your Microsoft. It's bounced up. What happened there? Just a look at Baba. No. What the heck happened there? What was the other one? Netflix. Interesting. And what happened to Tesla? No, Tesla's pretty much the same. That's come off a bit. Took the Tesla one, pretty much that. If you smile, yeah. But quite short out on Microsoft. Maybe some good figures came out somewhere I didn't know about. Well, where is it now? Not actually don't know what's happened there. Well, if you're confident about dollar strength coming in tomorrow, then I'm not going to put it out as a trade for everybody, but those who traded before want to take a bit of a high aggressive trade, maybe want to short that, because if that is quite high now, and if that CPI comes out higher, you get a $20 fall off pretty damn quick. PDQ. So in order to do that, have a look at it. More experienced guys. Don't get too cute if you don't want to. Okay, right. If you got a moment to, I just want to get into the micro now. Some guys want to do the Nasdaq, what we say, it's the herald of trading. People love it. Exciting, it moves. The problem is they can't afford the Ferrari, but they want the Ferrari. Here's a way of having your cake and eat it. We've got now what's called a micro on the NASDAQ. So it means everyone, even small amounts, can do it. Okay. Well, if you haven't got the account, you haven't got the capital or experience or not, we're going to be after the battle in anything. That's why, you know, you have venture capitalists, you know, come up with a good idea. You haven't got the capital, you see a venture capitalist. They'll take a, you know, they'll take a share in your company and they'll believe in it and they'll put up the capital. That's how it works. Okay, now this is the micro. So on this one, it's to get on a micro, it's like a nano account. It's a tiny movement. Instead of 10 cents, it's only 1 cent movement, American, that is, a micro. What's 1 cent a micro? It's about 17 cents, is that right? $1 rand 70 divided by 10 is 17 cents. Yeah, 17 cents a micro. So anybody can afford this. The idea being you can get into the small account. Okay, it's called the NASDAQ micro. You have to, at this stage, it might be changed down the line. You have to have at least a 500 to 1 leverage account. I don't think doing dollars, only in rands. Okay, and Martin joining us. Just give me a second. And the beauty is, like I mentioned, the contract on this is only 1. On the other NASDAQ, you still do 0.01 on the NASDAQ you got. The contract size is 10. This is 1. So it's 1/10 or 10% of the contract size. So the margin is $50. So if you go in the micro now, you only need 50 rands. So the guys on a few $100 can actually do it. Obviously, the rewards are peanuts, but then you've got unfortunate capital's peanuts. So you know you can't get cashew nuts if you've got normal peanuts, obviously. But it gives you a chance to get moving the small account, have a go at the NAS. Okay. So anybody wants that, have a 5 to 1 account. If you're not sure, just go down here and load it. If you have any problems loading it, go to your account manager or whatever, and they'll assist you. Just put in NAS and you should see micro. Click on that and enter and save it. Okay. Well, we've done, I'll do it again. See, and then save it. There you got your micro account. So yeah, if you can't do it, and you haven't got a 5, you won't be able to do it. But a 5 to 1 rand account leverage, you should be able to put that in there. If you can't, we'll go to your account manager and they should sort it out. It's not the broker's job to account manager to sort that out. There's the intermediaries. I'm sure we'll have it. Okay, so if you got 5, 10, 15, 20, you're wasting time on this thing. It's for guys who got a couple of grand or 1,500 rand or 1,000 rand, and that's all they got, but they want to do the NAS, they can do it on the micro. Are we all clear on that?
Roger, just show us a R&R on a micro, please.
That's a bloody good idea. When I think about it, that's why you're a scientist and I'm not. I like bloody think of that. What do you want to do? A buy or didn't really matter? We'll do a buy, right? Let's see. We'll do our normal 200 pip stop. So the 200 pip, I don't have to do. I'm doing my head. I'll put the stop loss in at 12,170. 12,170. And we'll put the TP in at 200 on that 585. Make it 12,7. There we are. 12,700. There you are. 40 rounds euros. Okay, it won't work, so we'll have to make a plan here. There's some risk reward. There you are. $40 a micros euros. Thanks, Fanny. Why don't I think of that? They're the best demonstration of a lot. That's why you got the brains, I've got the good looks. Don't get jealous now, Fanny.
Yeah, and now if we could take that, write it down, and then do the ordinary NAS for the same values, please.
Okay.
The difference between the risk.
What a brilliant idea. Just a second, write it down. 12,170. What have you got down there? 12,796. 12,796. So I'm doing arithmetic all the time, so I forget, you know, that, yeah. Sorry, beg your pardon. Just habit after a while. Plus I brought up in 12 times tables again, so it becomes habit after a while. It's the language. 12,170. 12,796. See that? Well, I can told you any of the top med is 10 times more. So it's 40 rand on the micro from micro. It'll be 400 per micro on the other one, where the contract size is 10. So I didn't need to do it. So I've done anyway. You see the contract size here is 10. Previous is 1. So on the micro, it's 40 rand a micro, and this one is 400. Just multiply it by 10. Now 400 might be, or 360 turns out now, might be too hot for guys at 2 or 300. It's too hot, you're overexposed. We certainly overexposed in the other one. Just remember, if you do go to the micro, find anybody there, the maximum size you can take is half a lot. The idea is not for guys to go on micros and start putting 10 lots in. You might as well use this one here. It's the idea of the smaller guys, try to get them into the NASDAQ, get it where they can do it, get a taste for it, then they might suddenly realize, hang on, I better put some money and do the job properly. Try to get them to overcome the fear. There's a lot of guys start small, not because of anything else, and quite frankly, understandably, they don't just jump in the car and drive at 180 or 280 just because you can. You can drive slow till you pick up some sort of idea what you're doing. But there you are. Anyway, it's clearly there. So if this was a micro account, the other one I showed you, your risk would be $37, 37 rand per 0.01. On this one, it's that figure, which is obviously too much for a lot of people. So thanks for pointing that out. You see the match in front of you guys. Now you can see it's open to those who want to play with the NAS. Even though they can afford this one, they might say, I want to get my skill upscaled on the NAS, so I'm going to open that one up. Not on 101, not at 501 account in rands. You might want to open it up. I just practice around that. You don't learn on fake money. You learn nothing. There's no emotion. So you're getting some emotion without worrying yourself too much. You go in the real money and hone your skills, having a few go at it till you're completely and utterly addicted, and then you want to do the job properly, then you swap back to this one. I mean, till you're very not addicted, sorry, till you're very knowledgeable. Okay, sounds good, Fani?
Excellent. Dankie oom Roger. Baie dankie oom.
I'm baie dankie. Well, at my age, I'd probably call you not oom, but sir.
Good, good.
Yeah. There you are, guys. You got the idea. So there you are. If you can't load it, go and ask your account manager. If you want to do the NAS, now you can. Any questions? Because here you are getting it the horse's mouth properly shown. A lot of guys don't have that because they're not here. So you've got the chance now. So if you're not sure, I'll go through it again. This can be quite useful to be able to play around the NAS without thinking you're gonna be out of, you know, going to be a problem financially. Happy? This is not a trade idea, guy. Please, it's not a trade idea. It's showing the mechanics of the differential. Anybody want to try that? Load it and try it on the NAS. If you don't like the NAS, no point anyway. But there you are. Give an opportunity. What's the feedback? It's like trading 0.01 gold, isn't it? Any feedback? What do you think, guys? It's a forum. Not anybody here, actually. I frightened everybody off. Is it load shedding or am I frightening everybody off? So there are a few people here. Great, finding. Any new guys? Gladys, Fiona, Joan, Leongo, Sadiki, any newer guys like this? Yeah, but once you load, you got to know what to do with it. So, NK, you could trade this. Would you like to do the NASDAQ on the micro? That one there. I'll knock this off now. you like the idea? Some of the new guys, come on. Gladys, do you like it? Fiona? Bonseely? Lunga likes to give it a go. You're not sure yet. Bonseely, you've been to a few. Get some idea now. Not sure whether you like it or not, or not sure the mechanics and how it works. You got the idea, it's fine. Anyone not got the idea? Because if you like it, here's your chance. I hope I'm explaining it right. Maybe I'm not explaining it properly. I don't know. Let's do it again. Right. What you do is you go to specifications. You look at here. This is the one we got up at the moment, is the micro, right? You left click, you right click, and then you go to specifications, and you see the contract size is 1. And one standard contract, you're all going to know if you're trading forex or anything, you've got to understand what the contract size is. So the contract size of 1 is it's 1 times that for a standard contract. That's in dollars. 12,365. That's a standard contract. Okay. If you do 0.1, clearly the contract size with 1236. You go 0.01, 10 times lower. Your contract size 123, all in US dollars. Obviously, going to put it into rands, about 2,000 rand. Okay. Now, if you do this one here, right, you right click on specifications, contract size is 10. So the difference is this 1.0 on this one here is the same. The figures, everything's the same, just the contract size is different. So one standard contract will be this multiplied by 10. So instead of being $12,300, it'll be $123,000 is the standard contract. So a mini contract would be 12,300, and the micro is $1,237. Again, multiplying to rands comes to plus minus 20,000 rand. So your contract size on the micro on this one is 20,000 rand. On the mini, sorry, on the normal one, and on the micro one, it's 2,000 rand. And obviously, you put your marginal deposit down on that. So you get it. So if you want to do the micro one, and you say, look, I can only afford to risk a couple of hundred rand, you go to this one, and let's say you want to do a short on it. Keep pressing on the button there, sorry. You want to do a short on this one, micro. You go here, you put your calculator up, which you get from the live chat, and we're going to do a short this time. And you want to put a 200 pips away. Where's 200 pips away on this? A bit further away. You need a decent gap. Put it up here. Maybe make it 12.6. And that's 12.6, not bad. It's above the round figure, 12.5. So you want to do a short. You're expecting the CPI to be high. You want to go and short this to benefit on the high CPI. And then you're going to maybe make it down to maybe 11,950. See if you get a risk reward on that. Yes, you can. Let's try 12,000. It's probably a better one. What happened there? It's not the risk reward. Oh, I didn't put it in this spot. 112,000. Mr. Lord there, beg your pardon. Yeah, you still do that, down to 12,000. Round figure, you want to do it. Now you know it's 40 rand plus minus for 0.01. You can only risk 150 bucks or something. You can go for 3 or even 4 of them. So you put 0.03 or 4, depending what you're prepared to risk. You can risk 80 bucks, 2, 120, 3, 160, 4. You get the idea. Now, you guys, if you haven't got a lot of capital, no need to panic. You can still do the NASDAQ. People love it, but they're overexposing because unfortunately the contract size is too big. No, so you don't have to buy a fast, bloody expensive car. You can get a cheaper car. As long as it works, gets you A to B, at least you're starting you off. At least you can drive a motor car now. Before, the price of the car was too expensive. You get it now. Gladys? Got it. Brilliant. Are you happy, guys? Thank you, Fanny. That's a good idea. Seating the figures, always easier. Got the concept, and there you are. And once you've got the concept, then you think, oh, this is not bad.
No, great stuff, Roger. Thank you from my side, because I'm trying to follow you on my cell phone. Somebody tried to steal the fiber cable last night, and we haven't got any fiber since 3 o'clock this morning, and it's still out.
Oh, goodness. So if you haven't got load shedding, you've got people stealing the bloody cable. Marvelous. What can I say?
I don't know, they thought there's copper in it or something.
Or whatever they think. Oh, it's been said before, no point in me adding to it, we all know the score. Okay, shame, okay. All right, where are we? So there we are. So now you can start looking at NASDAQ trade, and it's not going to hurt you if it goes wrong. You know what I mean? And you can say, all right, well, I know the CPI is coming out tomorrow, and I do like the NASDAQ. What the hell? I can risk a couple $100 on this one. It's gone up a bit, so you're even getting a better price, only 35 Rand. So 70, 140, 175 Rand, you can risk, was it? 175 Rand is 4, isn't it? 70, no, 5. 5 micros for 170 Rand risk. What a pleasure. Even you can afford, even you go for the bigger one, you can still do this because it's too risky on the bigger one with so much stuff coming up, and you might make a couple of bucks. Bear in mind, because you're putting so little risk down, your return ain't going to be very high. And that's another misnomer. People think they're going to put in little, get a lot return. You're not going to be, flying the jets or the Rolls Royce anytime soon, but at least gives you a chance. And quite frankly, it's getting better and better because it's getting close to the 12.5. So now we can put 12, that's 12.6 is just fine there. 12.6 for a stop. And there we are. I got a 2 there, and it's only 30 odd bucks a micro. So if you can load it, you can't, well, you can't, but try and put it in there, go to your laptop and bung it in there. I don't know about the phone because I only use it as a backup. Slightly different to mechanics on the phone. Just put in, put in your NAS and it gives you the micro there. Yeah, so you can have a go at it. I think it's not a bad short, the micro. I wouldn't be so keen on the other one because there's too many ifs and buts coming tomorrow. But you can do a bit of a sort of, shall we say, a bit of a punt on it at a short. How about that? Maybe put a slightly wider stop out the way. Maybe make it 12.7. There we are. Still get it. No, you're not going to risk reward. Make it a little bit. Yeah, still need 12.7. Maybe there, and even put the risk reward down here. There we are. Still getting a risk reward. Makes it 50 bucks. So instead of getting 5, maybe get 4 or 3 micros and let it run. And you can have a bit of fun with that. Thinking, my God, my account's going to be margin called. And if guys, you only got 500 Rand, you can go again 0.01 and it's doable. If you've got 300 or 400, I wouldn't touch it. I personally wouldn't trade with that kind of money anyway, if it's too small. I'd rather save up and do it properly. I don't want to buy an old banger that doesn't work. I'd rather save up and get a slightly better vehicle. Okay. And anyone else got a micro on there? Do you remember good this one? No? Okay, well, there you are. But homework for you. Get the micro, check it out. And yeah, 5 to 1, make sure you got your account manager. You can't find it, the name's on the portal. Give them a contact or whatever, or go to the lifestyle, I don't know, whatever. But get that micro, fit it in, and yeah. Well, it's going up. I don't have to look at that. No, it's going up. The NAS is going up. Remember, it follows the Americans. We all do. We all follow the Americans. You might not admit it, but it's true. We all follow them. Okay. I can't remember the TP was, but sorry, the stop was. Well, it should have been up above here. So yeah, it should be okay. But it will go up. I mean, the dollars come off a bit, jumping up. I think 8,000. It should be above 8,000, somewhere up here to stop. Anyway, I'm hoping it'll hold around about these levels. Popping up should come down a bit. So now it gets to 11, 12.5. Pop around, maybe come off a bit. But yeah, so it is. Remember on the FTSE, don't forget, on this one, contract size is 10. So it's slightly different, where the NAS it's only 1. This is really, the other one's really a nano account. You have a standard, mini, micro, that's really a nano. The idea is to build a trade live without the immense fear of your bank balance taking too hard a smack. Okay, guys, happy. Hope you, the little few people who left here learned something. Okay, hope it wasn't too much load shedding. Hope it wasn't beating on, frighten you off. Some might be a bit complicated, but forget I'm doing it every day. But it's, I'll go over it again until we all understand it. That's the idea, so we all understand it. Trying to help from that point of view. Don't worry about my loud. I'm loud. I always will be loud. That's where I am. At least I'm straight. Okay. All right. Well, it's 5 o'clock, just after. Any questions, or should we catch you tomorrow morning? Any last thing, or should we catch you tomorrow? Okay, great stuff. Right, there you are. If you want to go over it again tomorrow, I will do. Not a problem. Fantastic. Thanks, Pete. Try and do it tomorrow. Okay, we'll be